Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. We're streaming live on Facebook and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Ganga FM in Jirapa, Sun City Radio in Keta, in Kigli FM in Bole, ATL FM in Cape Coast, and Radio Max in Takrade. For our digital outlets, it includes myjoyonline.com app and Spotify. In this edition, halt laptop distributions and refund our money. Some teachers hit the streets in protest of the ongoing one-teacher laptop policy. We're live on the ground as the teacher unions take their concerns a notch higher.
And the Kabonu, we are telling Thomas Musa and the other unions to refund our money. We are saying we need our 509.
With details of that, also Ghana Health Service criticized over failure to adequately educate citizenry over COVID-19 vaccines after some residents in Volta Regional Capital Hall refused to take the jabs over fears and misconceptions. We have more as the regional directorate says vaccine hesitancy poses a serious threat to achieving herd immunity in the region.
Vaccine hesitancy remains a challenge, and it's something that we are dealing with the support of headquarters and all other stakeholders within the country and in the region.
And this afternoon, 12 hours to the expiration of an ultimatum for the removal of billboards mounted by prospective aspirants eyeing various positions in the NPP. Some of the billboards still stand.
They should remove all of them by midnight tomorrow. And if they fail, then I will have to do the work. And I have to ensure that I don't see any billboard, banner or posters of any potential aspirant.
We have sports.
Minority leader Haruna Idrisu says Black Stars technical team is not good enough to lead the national team to win gold and wants it strengthened. We have details in 20 minutes.
And later in showbiz, lessons from the jail cell. Musician Shatta Wale and Medical share what they have learned from their recent arrests.
Which lesson have you learned from your issue with the police?
Oh, discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Medical and you?
You just have to be careful, like.
We have more from the musical duo later in the bulletin. We have that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Sounds of some aggrieved members of the All Teachers Alliance Ghana who today hit the streets in demand of the immediate termination of the one teacher, one laptop policy. The teachers, among other things, are protesting what they call the poor quality of the laptops distributed to them by the Ghana Education Service. We can hear from some of them on the concerns that they have raised, and we'll get to my colleague Manuel Kranting shortly. He joins us on the line. Manuel, walk us through the concerns that we've heard from the teachers so far today on their protests.
So, for quite a number of issues that they raised. The first of all is that they were not consulted before the contract was actually implemented. They also say that the quality of the laptops is not to the level that will be amenable with the work that they have to do. They also mentioned that even though the contract presents a 2-year warranty, there are no outlets within the various regions and districts outside Accra for a repair if one of the laptops is broken down. For all of these reasons and more, they are asking the GES and by extension the three labor unions, NAT, NAGRAT, and CCT, to immediately call for the termination of the contract.
Well, we'll hear from the leadership because I know you also interacted with them, but has the petition been presented? Is the demonstration officially over?
Well, MFI, just a short while ago, the teachers presented a petition to the Ghana Education Service. It was received on behalf of the service by the Deputy Director General in charge of Quality and Access, Professor Kwabena Bimpe Tando. And he says that the petition has been received in good faith. He, however, notes that the teachers are already in court asking and praying the court to actually, call for the termination of the contract. And so for him, they are going to abide by what the court says and how all of the conversation plays out within court. And so up until then, they're going to hold on to the petition until a definitive the decision, or if you like, directive, is given by the court.
Well, so whilst all that, we wait for all that to play out, earlier you interacted with the leader of this particular demonstration. We've heard from the GES mention that the quality of these laptops are intact. But in your interaction with the leaders, what exactly then are they hoping will be done about the situation?
For them, they want an outright termination of the contract. The leader tells me that for him, for instance, he has not received his laptop. And even though the deductions have already been effected, some of them have not received the laptops, accusing the Ghana Education Service and by extension the other labor unions that actually negotiated for the contract to be implemented of exhibiting bad faith. And he wants, as a matter of urgency, MFA, that since they were not consulted in drafting the proposal and the policy, then they should be exempted.
What are your demands?
Yeah, I see. What you are trying to say is very simple. The situation now sounds that GES is trying to take teachers for granted, and we are not going to allow ourselves to be taken for granted. The negotiation that led to the TM1 laptop has not been done right. And you know, there's a problem with the negotiation. Everything that has gone on has not been done well. We are saying that if things are not, ratified within a short time, then teachers' image will be dragged in the mud. You know,
when you say rectified, what do you mean? We
are saying that we have raised concerns that GES have to look at those concerns and address them. One of these concerns is that we believe that the company that produces a laptop, the KA Technology, does not have the pedigree to do that, and that a competitive bidding should have been done instead of so successful for one company. We also know that these laptops, we also know that private school teachers have received a similar laptop that has better quality than this one. So why can't the government open up for a competitive bidding, but allow a sole source company that does not have pedigree in the production of laptop?
Well, we can also hear from some of the teachers who participated in this demonstration.
Yes, we need our money back. We don't want the laptop any longer. They are not of good quality. We don't want it. We want our money back.
Our union leaders have been in bed with the government. And they are extorting money. They are distorting us. They even impose a fake TM1 laptop to us and propaganda. It's so fraudulent. We are telling them, Angel Kabonu, we are telling Thomas Musa and the other unions to refund our money. We are saying we need our 509 by the close of this month. If not, they will face more than this.
I have better laptop. I have HP, the set of the art. You see, we have HP laptop. We don't need 7th generation. I bought it 4,200 cedis. So how could you force on me an inferior type of laptop? And you think I should be happy?
Some teachers there who participated in that demonstration that Manuel Cranting is reporting has just officially ended, with a petition being presented on it. We follow it up and see how it pans out. But there's more also on myjoy99.7 that you can read for yourself. We head to the Volta region now, where the Ghana Health Service has come under criticism over its failure to adequately educate the citizenry on COVID-19 and its vaccination. This comes after some residents in some part of Accra who refuse to take the jabs over fears and misconceptions. Manager of the expanded program of immunization at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kwame Amponsachiano, says large quantities of vaccines dispatched to the Volta region expired due to vaccine hesitancy among the people.
I was saying that we had a lot of vaccines in the Volta region. Unfortunately, because of hesitancy, we had a lot of them expiring. And so we will be happy if senior people like you would support the Volta region in overcoming hesitancy. We made a lot of vaccines available. And I believe that when you do the background check, you realize that quite a number of our vaccines expired in Volta region, unfortunately. It's not that we didn't make vaccines available.
That's the manager of the expanded program of immunization at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kwame Amponsachiano. Let's bring in the Deputy Regional Health Director. That's the Volta Regional Deputy Health Director, Dr. Senanu Jokoto, joining us on the phone with further details on this particular development in the Volta region. Dr. Senanu Jokoto, we are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So what is actually accounting for this level of hesitancy we are seeing in the Volta region?
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. And very good afternoon to all your listeners. The situation in the Volta region may not be very different from all other regions. But obviously, you can see that our situation appears to be worse. Because if you look at the statistics, we have done 50% of our target population. So that accounts for 176,000 people. They've taken their first dose. But we are looking at vaccinating as many as 1 million people, 55,000. So that will be our contribution to the national quota. Only 55,000 people are fully vaccinated, and that is also 4.5%. So clearly, you can see that a lot more effort is required to get people vaccinated in the Volta region. Key among the issues is convenience. People do not want to travel distances to get vaccinated. So as a result, the health service, working with all our partners, is ensuring that the vaccines are closer to the people. Secondly, is complacency. If you look at the cases that we have recorded and the mortalities recorded in the Volta region, you could see that places like Greater Accra, Ashanti have felt the brunt of the COVID-19 much more than in the Volta region. So people are having a problem even accepting that COVID-19 exists. And then the youthful population would also tell you that, well, they have heard that COVID exists and they believe that it exists. But they have also been told that they have strong immune systems that would be able to protect them from getting severe to critical forms of COVID-19. So they are hesitant in taking the vaccine. So they are very complacent. Again, we are educating them that they still have the ability to transmit the COVID-19 virus to more vulnerable people. Could be their mothers, it could be it could be their grandparents.
Okay, so I see that anti-vax campaigners are also key in all this particular hesitancy we're seeing in the region. How are we hoping to get past them?
So exactly, that's the third point I was coming to. Confidence in the vaccine has been eroded to some extent by the anti-vaccination campaigners. So definitely a lot has to be done to engage them. There's also one musician here who has also composed a song. It wasn't intended to be against vaccines, but listening to it, it's easy to also interpret it to be an anti-vaccination song, and it's very popular with the youth. So we are engaging everybody using all stakeholders. Our Regional Public Health Emergency Management Committee has done well. The Regional Minister has issued statements, has engaged the public. Our Regional House of Chiefs, led by Togbi Tepre Hodo, has also engaged all the chiefs. They've taken their vaccines in the full glare of the public with cameras on them. Subsequently, the chiefs have gone to the traditional councils. They've vaccinated most of the chiefs working under them. We've had various stakeholders engaging the public in those regards. But what is clear is that we need more risk communication. We need more social mobilization.
Okay.
And anybody who can support in that regard is very much welcome. We
are grateful. Dr. Senanu Jokoto will see what we can also do. And that's the Deputy Volta Regional Director of Public Health there, speaking to us about the vaccine hesitancy and the rate in the Volta region. But the Public Health Specialist, Nana Kofi Kwache, has also urged the Ghana Health Service to set up its education on the COVID-19 vaccines to encourage more people to take the jab.
The response has been by healthcare workers from the Black and Hispanic communities to go there to communicate empathy about the hesitancy, to validate the concerns, but still to explain to them that this is the actual risk you are facing. That because of the inequities that predicated all those things, you are also at higher risk of having a bad outcome. So you should even be more interested in getting a vaccine, more interested in avoiding getting infected, because your outcomes will probably be worse because of this inequities. If you reflect that in our environment, again, the historical analogs are a little different. What is common, though, is that history of exploitation, is that history of prejudicial treatment. And the misinformation is getting packaged within that framework, which makes it very, very tricky to combat. And that's why, it's proving difficult here, especially, narratives about this being some attempt to sterilize the black population or something that's being meant to, kill off the black population. Those things fit within those exploitation narratives. And that's why those are really convenient packaging forms for the misinformation. That's why it's really sticky here.
That's Nana Kofi Kwachi. He's a public health specialist. We turn our attention to politics with a focus on the upcoming NPP Delegates Conference and 12 hours to the expiration of an ultimatum for the removal of billboards mounted by prospective aspirants eyeing various positions in the NPP. Some of the billboards still stand, we are told. Love News checks indicate that some persons with interest in the NPP's flag bearership race have pulled down their boards and banners in line with the directive of the party's leadership. However, the billboards of Boakye Tremantinge Jako, Joe Gatti, among others, are still standing. Listen to the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah.
The party's National Steering Committee has taken a decision that this conference, they don't want any aspirant to erect any billboard or put banners within Ashanti region, especially within the Greater Kumasi area. And they've directed that they should remove all of them. And as a result of that, I've come out with a release that they should remove all of them by midnight tomorrow. And if they fail, then I will have to do the work because they've given the responsibility to me, and I have to ensure that I don't see any billboard, banner or posters of any potential aspirant within the region. And that is what I'm going to do. So at the tail end of the release, realize that I've directed the MMDCs also to ensure that they remove all such items within their jurisdiction.
That's the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah. And Nana Ojima has been doing further checks. He joins us on the line. Nana Ojima, so aside from Boakye Jako and Joe Gatti's billboards, at the last check, do we still have others standing?
Yes, there are some others still standing, and they include Kwabna Osu-Adiomi, who is former MP for Ejoso, who aspires to lead the NPP in the Ashanti region. He has some banners in town. Also, Salam Mustafa, who wants to be the national youth organizer of the NPP, also have some billboards around the stadium, the Kumasi Sports Stadium to be specific.
Have you had cause to interact with their handlers and what exactly they are hoping to do about it?
So far, we've not been able to locate any of their handlers, but it's expected that by the expiration of the ultimatum given by the regional minister, we'll have all these billboards down.
So, really, in your interaction with the Ashanti Regional Minister, what's the plan to deal with the situation as the deadline elapses?
So, he has sent words to MMDCs in the Ashanti region, and they've identified all the billboards that by yesterday were standing. So, if by close of day today, if these billboards are not down, the MMDCs will have to direct people to pull them down.
Nana Ojima there reporting from the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise. But we'll stay a while longer in the Ashanti region because the Municipal Chief Executive for Joabing in the Ashanti region, Alex Safo-Kantanka, could soon face prosecution for alleged bribery. On Monday, November 2, 2021, Assembly members of Joabing gathered for the second time to confirm Mr. Katanka, the president's nominee, after the first attempt failed. However, he failed to obtain the required number of votes for confirmation. Following his rejection, the nominee was captured in the video demanding from some assembly members monies he was alleged to have given in return for their votes. So that's the interaction between the Joabing MCE and some assembly members there. But Mr. Safo-Kantanka was subsequently picked up by the police for questioning after the video went viral. Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing tells Joy News his outfit and the police are almost through with investigations on the matter.
We invited him in November. We are in December. In legal investigation and prosecution, that is just like a day. We are still on it, and here I'll say I think I have his permission. The IGP has been very helpful in this regard. The police and the OSP are working together forcefully in respect of this case. And so, indeed, the docket itself has been handed over by the IGP to the OSP, and we are in the middle of the investigations. Sir, merely inviting a person to the OSP doesn't mean that the very next day the person is going to put before court. You invite the persons, you take their statements if they want to talk. The law says they can keep their silence if they so wish. If they want to talk, you take their statements. If they want to give statements, you still send your people down to the ground. Several persons were mentioned. Assemblymen, the allegations was that he was chasing some assemblymen for alleged bribe money and all that. You have to do a very thorough investigation in respect of all these persons.
That's the Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Sun City Radio in Keta, in Kigli FM in Bole, and Radio Max in Takrade. We've been looking at the one teacher, one laptop policy, hearing from some teachers who've been demonstrating, asking that the whole distribution is halted and their money's refunded. When we return, we have sports, and then later in showbiz, we'll take lessons from musicians Shatawale and Medical as they share what they've learned from their recent arrests.
Which lesson have you learned from your issue with the police?
Oh, discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Medical, and you?
You just have to be careful, like.
Many thanks for your company here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. It's time for sports. Muftal, what do we have?
Minority Leader of Parliament, Haruna Idrisa, has called on the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ghana Football Association to consider strengthening the technical bench of the Black Stars. According to him, the technical department is not good enough and will need extra ideas to help Ghana win gold in Cameroon.
The Minister for Youth and Sports, whilst commending you, you have a challenge. And the challenge is to seek to revolutionize football once again in Ghana to make it an attractive activity and vocation for many young people. The political leadership, the President and you and us will provide it. But your technical bench is not good and strong enough. You must work on the technical bench and the use of old Black Stars players. There are many experienced Black Stars players who want to play a role in supporting your technical bench to be successful, regardless of where they come from or who they are. Seek to engage them to be able to support your technical bench.
That is Haruna Idrisu. Do you think our technical bench is that weak?
Let's see. There's more room for improvement, I should say.
We hope they do so.
Muftal, thank you very much for sport. Now we head to Parliament because some budgetary estimates of ministries, departments and agencies are in danger of being rejected as the minority NDC in Parliament takes an uncompromising position. Already, the estimates for the Ministry of Communication has been suspended because the ministry has failed in the past 6 years to furnish the House with audited accounts of the National Communications Authority and other agencies under its supervision. Also, the budget of the Electoral Commission will not be approved until the chairperson of the EC appears before the Special Budget Committee. Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Alhassan S. Suhiyini, says his side will not approve estimates for any entity the House has standing issues to clear.
Based on some of the findings that we are getting at the committee level, some of the committees will not have their estimates approved. Yesterday, the Electoral Commission had to be off the place. Education Ministry as well, because of what? So the determination to represent the good people of Ghana and to demand answers from this government is unwavering as far as the minority is concerned. No matter, the attempt to abuse the authority that they have currently, we will continue to find ways to represent the people in the manner that they want us to represent. So it is what happens at the committee level that will determine what will be put on the appropriation, which will then be brought to the plenary again for a vote. Then beyond that is also the bill to introduce the e-levy. The fight is structured and it is in different, phases. And as a caucus led by our leader, we have served notice that we will be opposed to that e-levy in particular, no matter the form that, it comes into the House.
But Member of Parliament for Menchia North, Akwesi Kunedu, says the posture of the NDC is only aiming at sabotaging government business.
I mean, if you tell me that because we had 169 and now we don't have that, and because you also have the numbers and we are going to use that numbers, practically that is what you are telling me, to frustrate every single activity and dictate the pace of our governance should be. That is a problem. He agrees we've gone past that. Up until they set the wheels back again, which they are good at doing that. I don't have a problem with that. You see, that is why they say that at committee levels and using the estimate, they are going to use parts of some of these committees to create a certain hole so that we cannot jump over as a country to have the appropriation bill passed. Because, for instance, if there are some committees who would tell me ordinarily now that they've just thrown out, then look at how we threw out the communications ministry, we threw out the electoral commission. It should have been previous, but not now.
That's Akwesi Kunedu, Member of Parliament for Menchia North. Well, the Minister of Communications, Eslo Usuekofo, has been reacting. She's described as false claims by the minority she failed to produce annual report of the NCA and other agencies under her ministry.
So I'm surprised to hear that sitting was suspended for the day. We were sacked and told to go away until we presented all the reports. Mind you, I was not the minister in 2015 or 2016. So this thing started long before the NPP came to power. But I am the minister now, and it is my responsibility to ensure that the annual reports of my agencies are laid before Parliament. I never said anywhere that I have it and it is before Parliament and it is ready to be laid, because as at the time, it was not.
Eslo Usuekofo is Communications Minister. Tears roll for 27-year-old Samira Farouk, a young woman brutally murdered by a young man at Pakoso, as friends seek justice for her. Family of the deceased say the mother of two recently introduced the suspect as her boyfriend. Suspect Nana Bones, who is currently in police custody, is alleged to have stabbed the victim many times before smashing her head with a brick. Erastus Asaridonko has been following it. He joins us on the line with details. Erastus, tell us more.
Well, so what we do know in addition is that the victim has been identified as Samira Farouk, 27, a mother of two, and she lives in Aswase. We also do know that the suspect at the moment is in police custody. He was given medical attention because he was beaten by the residents and will be arraigned before court soon. There has not been any official statement from the police. Inside the Pakoso community at the moment, where residents are relieved because they believe that murders that have been going on within the community can be attributed to the suspect.
That's my colleague Erastus Asaridonko with the latest on that Pakoso murder. Let me bring you back to the Greater Accra region, because arguably the biggest story in showbiz this year was the arrest of Regedan Solati Shatawale, who was charged with publication of false information and also causing fear and panic, alongside his industry mate Medical, who was arrested for brandishing a gun in a video posted on social media. Although the dust has not entirely settled on the case, many Ghanaian industry players and fans want to know if the musical duo learned their lessons behind bars, and this is what they had to say on Daybreak Hits with Andy Dosty.
Which lesson have you learned from your issue with the police?
Oh, discipline. Yeah, discipline. You know, I think in this life we all have to, learn how to discipline ourselves well, and that's what is going to take us far. So I believe all the processes we went through, came out, with strong discipline. Because right now I feel maybe I might be doing something that I feel is right, but the system doesn't like. So I need to discipline myself and, structure myself to the law. And that's why I had the motorbike. Because sometimes if I'm going out and I feel there's traffic, I don't even do that ping, ping, ping anymore. I just want to show respect to.
Well, Medical, and you?
You just have to be careful. Like, I've learned how to be very, extremely careful with anything that I do, any action I take. Because whatever happened, that put me in that place. I never even knew it was something, it was a crime, you get me? I mean, I didn't know it was an offense. I didn't even know like it was a crime because I knew brandishing of a weapon is when you're in public and then you pull out a weapon, people get threatened, and then you get me. Not when maybe you're in your car home and then you put something on Snapchat. I was a bit puzzled and all, but I learned a lot from it as well. So right now I'll just be extra careful and advise anyone with listen to me to be extra careful as well, because you might never know.
And those are your celebrities and the lessons they've learnt from being behind bars. We've heard Medical and Shatawale on Daybreak Hits with Andy Dosty. You can catch more of that interview on my joyonline.com, Joy Entertainment pages as well, because they're large and in charge. And that's our bulletin for today here on Joy 99.7 FM. On myjoyonline.com, no Gene Mensah, no budget approval. First Deputy Minority Chief Whip says also EFL did not specify why they broke away, fix the country movement say. And then also court orders SAX leader Jacob Zuma to return to jail. That's and more on myjoyonline.com. But remember, there's no shortcut to greatness. That's our message from Pastor Mensa Otabil on Living Word. Many thanks for your company.
Freedom. 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 Shut up.
When you want it, just Momo it. When you tire for the long queue in the supermarket, just Momo it. And when you really want that beautiful new blouse too, just Momo it. And when you won't get that